All right, everyone, we got some big news coming across, some rumors out there about Deshaun Watson willing to accept an 8-game suspension with $5 million in fine settlement with the NFL, according to an anonymous source at the Associated Press. So we're going to break this all down from my kitchen once again. Second at-home video here on the Browns Report by Chat Sports. Matthew Peterson, not wanting to take a day off. Even though I'm technically off today, no, this is too good to pass up on. So let's talk about this new report coming out that Deshaun Watson is willing to accept an 8-game suspension. I think we can all look around a little bit and go, probably the best outcome for where we are at. You know, once the NFL appealed Judge Robinson's 6-game suspension, all of a sudden, like, the Vegas odds for a year-long suspension really picked up. So to walk away with just 2 more games potentially, $5 million in fines, I'm all for it. I think for what the options are at this point, this is making the best of a bad situation. And that's what it is. Because, sure, the Browns knew what they were getting into when they traded for Deshaun Watson. Maybe they had some secret optimism and whatnot. But you don't want to have the quarterback that you just gave $230 million to and, you know, burn the bridge with Baker Mayfield for, sit out his first year. Like, that's just not ideal. A good chunk of the fan base is still upset about it, and I'm not going to argue with them because they have the right to be so, but you want to see Watson play this year. So to walk away with only missing 8 games for what the mood is right now seems like a pretty good deal to me. Now, it's a good deal to me. I don't know if it's a good deal for the NFL. Roger Goodell was in Bloomington, Minnesota on Tuesday for the Broncos ownership sale getting approved, and reporters got to ask him, is the NFL still looking for a year-long suspension for Deshaun Watson? And Goodell was like, yeah, because based on the evidence that Judge Robinson outlined in her findings in her report, we believe he should be suspended for a year, essentially. So if you're the Browns and you can walk away with 8 games, or if you're Deshaun Watson and you walk away with just missing out on half of the season after Goodell said that less than a week ago, you got to feel like that's a bit of a win. Now, there hasn't been much talk from the NFL's PA side of agreeing to any sort of settlement. I mean, we heard some rumors before Robinson made her decision that the NFL was looking to reach a settlement with Watson. I saw the number 12 tossed out, and the NFL PA said, get out of here. No. And at the time, it seemed like a decent idea because Judge Robinson issued 6 games. And I think most people thought that would be the final number. The appeal definitely caught me by surprise. So now, is the NFL really in any position where they want to hear a settlement? Probably not. I'm guessing Roger Goodell is not going to get a notification from Adam Schefter and be like, oh, Peter Harvey ruled. Let's see what he decided. No. I bet Roger Goodell knows right now what Deshaun Watson's outcome is. So if Goodell knows that it's more than 8 games, why would he be interested in agreeing to an 8-game suspension if what he wants is a year? And even if he doesn't get a year, right? Even if Peter Harvey rules 12 games, that's better than 8 in his mind. Well, I've got 2 ideas why. One, Goodell might be all talk, right? Might be all optics of trying to appease fans and sponsors of we want a year-long suspension. But he also knows the NFL is a business. You know what's not good for business? Jacoby Brissett starting for the Cleveland Browns this year. Deshaun Watson would be much better for TV ratings and all that jazz, right? More butts and seats and whatnot. So maybe deep down, Goodell's like, I got to give this impression of we want a year-long suspension. I can't go all the way to 0. That's not going to cut it. But can we agree on 8 games? That way Deshaun Watson returns for, and we'll look at the schedule in just a second here, but he returns for big games against the Bills and the Bucks and the Saints on, Christmas Eve? Now, let's play a quick game before we look at the Browns' schedule, because I think we've all memorized games 1 through 6, but 7 and 8 are key. Over or under 8.5 games for Deshaun Watson. Let me know what your predictions are down below. Now, let's quickly revisit the schedule. We know the first couple games. Panthers, week 1, Jets, then Steelers, and then Falcons. Then you get some teeth on your schedule. You get the Chargers at home, even with Brissett, even with Watson. Like, that's not a guarantee win. The Chargers improved maybe the most this offseason in some ways, at least defensively for sure. Patriots after that at home as well. I think Brissett can manage that game. New England, I think, maybe took one of the biggest step backs this offseason. But it's Belichick, so I'm not going to bet against him. Week 7 and 8. You got the Ravens on the road, and you're home against Cincinnati on Monday Night Football. Rest in peace, Steve Levy, one of my favorite comedians. And it's on Halloween night. Like, those are two games. If it was originally the 6-game suspension, you probably would have liked to have Deshaun Watson back for those games, right? And so maybe, Goodell, and I'll get my second theory in just a second here. Maybe Goodell goes, we can't do 6. That's just too unsettling for so many people out there. We got to add some more games, but I don't want you to miss the whole season. So the other theory, maybe the NFLPA knows, hey, we can maybe get highway robbery with 8 games here because we could threaten to sue. And the NFL does not want this to go to court. They don't want the NFLPA maybe bringing people like Robert Kraft and Jerry Jones and Daniel Snyder to court. I'm not really sure how the legality of that would work out. I'm not a lawyer. I'm a YouTuber. But at the end of the day, the NFL might be shaking in their boots about the idea of the NFLPA suing, that they'll be like, yeah, we got to take this deal because even if we do get what we wanted from Peter Harvey, we don't want this to go to court. So let's agree on 8 games, knock the fines up. I think the fines really pissed off the league. I think they were upset that Deshaun Watson would only incur $345,000 in fines from 2 seasons, a season and a half, for all the allegations. I don't really care about Deshaun Watson's money. Like, I'm not going to sit here going like, no, you cannot touch his bank account. Like, no, I want him on the field. I fine him $10 million if it means that he comes back for 6 games. Fine him 15. I mean, he probably doesn't like that, but like, I want to see him play football for the Browns this year. So that's kind of where I stand on like where the fines come into play. I don't think anyone's out here like crying a river over can't take more money from Watson. The guy just got $230 million guaranteed. He'll be okay. So that is the latest from an AP source. It's anonymous. 8 games. I mean, anything that comes from the AP, it feels like it's even like a brighter blue check mark. It's like, oh, it's the AP. Like, it's like this. It's like the Oz in Wizard of Oz. It's like no one who knows who the AP is, but if they say it's got to be true. So 8 game suspension maybe on the table and a settlement with the league. Deshaun Watson willing to accept that and a $5 million fine. I love the word willing in this case. Deshaun, you should absolutely be willing to accept an 8 game because that's probably the best offer you're going to get. Peter Harvey's not going to go look at Robinson's report and go, you know what, she got it wrong. It's like a 2-game suspension. No, that ain't happening here. All right, that is going to do it for us here. I appreciate all of you guys for tuning in for our second home edition of the Cleveland Browns Report. If you like what you saw, promise you guys, when we get back in the studio, we get all the graphics, the bells and whistles, all that good stuff. You'll be more impressed. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Plus, join us for our live watch party tomorrow, Friday night, 6:45 for Browns-Jags preseason week 1. So we'll be breaking down, doing live play-by-play. So you can have the game on your TV, but put the live watch party on so you can be a part of one of the fastest-growing YouTube communities out there for the Dog Pound. So subscribe, and we'll see all of you guys tomorrow, 6:45 Eastern for week 1 of the preseason. Because whoever's playing, it'll be a game. I don't know if Watson's going to take the first team reps, or it's going to be the Rosen and Dobbs show and a little bit of Brissett. But there will be a game to be played in Jacksonville, and we'll be having a live watch party for you guys.